Good morning, everyone. I'd now like to invite our Director of College Counseling, Terry Ward, to deliver the invocation.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
Okay, good morning, PCD. I could not be more pleased to welcome you to this live and in-person, though atypical, commencement ceremony for the Providence Country Day School class of 2020. Parents, faculty, and friends, we are so excited to celebrate this extraordinary group of young people who have endured and subsequently triumphed over these most unusual and challenging times. Only through the efforts, creativity, and flexibility of a remarkable group of people can we make such a unique celebration possible. Please join me in thanking the many people who helped with this commencement ceremony. Our amazing facilities team, Brian, Sammy, and Ron. Susan Hold on one sec. Susan Anderson, Justin King, Jennifer Aitken, my many ghostwriters, PCD alumnus and current parent Jason Duclos, our youngest helpers and current Knights, Jason Duclos Jr., Ryan Duclos, Grayson Roderick, and many others who will go anonymous. Thank you so much. Now we can honk. I am thankful to Mr. Ward for the very moving rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone from the Broadway hit Carousel, a perfect opening to this morning's ceremony. I must confess, however, that when I think of this song, I do not think of Broadway. I think of Liverpool FC. Yes, I am a devoted English Premier League soccer fan, and for anyone who has ever watched a game at Liverpool's home stadium, Anfield, you know how powerful this song is when sung by 50,000 avid fans. Though adopted by the soccer team in the mid-1960s, this powerful song took on new meaning in 1989 in the wake of the Hillsborough disaster. During a Liverpool-Nottingham Forest game, 96 fans were crushed to death. In the modern era, a tragedy of this magnitude is difficult to even comprehend. This catastrophe paved the way for much-needed reform in European soccer, most notably the need for increased stadium safety protocols and the curtailing of the rise of hooliganism, out-of-control fans which had plagued the sport for nearly a century. This song, now the anthem for Liverpool, is both a reminder of those lives lost, but also a sign of strength and unity even in the darkest of times. As we look back through our collective history, disasters, tragedies, controversy, and turmoil have often been the precursor to substantive change and lasting reform. At the turn of the 20th century, muckrakers shone a light on the darkness in a variety of industries, from meatpacking to child labor to tenement housing. As such, the Progressive Era was born, which ushered in a new period of regulation and legislative oversight. From the Great Depression and World War II came our victory over the Axis powers, brought about the rise of the greatest generation, and thrust America onto the world stage as a superpower. The stormy 60s, mired in the turbulence of race relations in the Vietnam War, brought about the Civil Rights Act and increased government transparency. And here we are in 2020, confronted with a variety of challenges. For the past 3 months, our world has nearly come to a standstill because of COVID-19 pandemic. These past 2 weeks in particular have reminded us that much work remains for justice, equity, and inclusion in America. We are in divided times in more ways than just social distancing. So what will be written about our nation's response to these difficult days? What good will come from this adversity? As Mr. Ward sang to us, walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain. Though your dreams be tossed and blown, walk on, walk on. With hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone, you'll never walk alone. Though I do not have a crystal ball, I know that our future is in good hands because of the thoughtful and caring thinkers, scholars, and leaders I see before me today. Yes, I know you have walked through the wind and through the rain during these unprecedented and arduous times. Though your dreams of what your senior spring could have been were tossed and blown, you remained undeterred. And yet I am confident that the PCD class of 2020 will ensure that good will come of this and that we will be a stronger, more nimble community, state, country, and world. And class of 2020, as all past, present, and future knights know, walk on, play the game, have hope in your heart, and know that you will never walk alone. You will always be embedded in the fabric of this dynamic, inclusive, inspiring community. I would now like to welcome seniors Devin Dembro and Sophie Robinson, who will introduce our two faculty speakers for this morning's commencement addresses.
Hi everyone, my name's Sophie Robinson. When asked to select a teacher to speak at graduation, the senior class had many suggestions. However, there was one name that quickly rose to the top of the list and that every single student could unanimously agree on. Ms. Minucci has impacted the learning experiences, education, and lives of just about all the seniors in a deeply meaningful way. For 26 years, she's brought her knowledge of art and art history, her positive attitude, and genuine care for the well-being of her students to the PCD community. I don't think a day has gone by without Ms. Minucci entering the classroom ready to teach with a warm smile on her face. It's hard to teach for 26 years without having some bad days, but Ms. Minucci consistently radiates cheerfulness and always makes her classroom a safe and productive space. A graduate from the Rhode Island School of Design with a Bachelor of Fine Arts and a Master of Fine Arts degree from Cornell University, Michelle Minucci has made her mark not just on the class of 2020, but the whole school. A native of Barrington, she began teaching at PCD as a middle school art teacher in 1994, and then began teaching a range of different 2D arts classes in the upper school in 2004. She then became the advanced placement art history teacher 2 years later, which she's very deserving of, as not many people have the expansive knowledge of art history that Ms. Minucci does. She's now an art department chair and a middle and upper school 2D art teacher, in addition to teaching AP Art History, which is a senior elective class, as well as Advanced Art Studio, alongside Ms. Carl. Whether she showed you the techniques of watercolor painting in the art studio during winter session electives, demonstrated figure drawing in Advanced Art Studio, or detailed Baroque architecture and German Expressionist works in AP Art History, Ms. Minucci has taught many students in her time. Not only can you find her teaching a myriad of different classes in art, but she's also a working painter outside of the classroom. Her paintings, which include narrative landscapes, ode to her childhood and family, narration of important people and places, and my personal favorite, her recreations of her parents' hair salon, are a treat to the eye. Her art has been exhibited in numerous shows and galleries across Massachusetts and Rhode Island and is a must-see. Miss Minucci spends her summers on Cape Cod, a tradition of hers since the early 1960s. She spends her summers painting and finds her inspiration here, as many of her award-winning paintings capture the tranquil oceanside scenery of the Cape. On top of all her roles here at the school, she's also an artist member of the Cape Cod Art Association and is on the board of the Pawtucket Arts Collaborative, where she serves as the chair of the Education Committee. Having someone with Miss Minucci's experience, knowledge, and pure talent as an educator here is invaluable. Over my 4 years here at PCD, I've gotten to know Miss Minucci pretty well. She's a twin, her zodiac sign is Cancer, and she adores her cat Smokey, and she never goes a day without styling her hair in her signature twisted bun updo. From having her as my 2D art teacher in the beginning of high school, advisor sophomore year, advanced art studio teacher junior and senior year, and AP art history teacher this year, she's always had a significant role in my education. Miss Minucci's classes and teachings have inspired me and many other people in many different ways, both artistically and intellectually. There are many special things about Miss Minucci. However, the main thing that's always stood out to me is her genuine and unconditional care for the well-being of her students. If a student's test scores are slipping or someone isn't quite understanding the material, Miss Minucci will always be quick to pull them aside and talk to them to get to the root of the problem. She goes out of her way to make opportunities for students to succeed and assist in the needs of each student, always finding solutions and putting in a great deal of effort to allow for her students to learn and progress. I think this may be one of the many reasons why Miss Minucci's name was an overwhelming favorite among the optional commencement speakers. Those close to Miss Minucci may also know that she happens to be terrified of public speaking, but she was willing to push through her stage fright and be here today to address the class, which we're all beyond thankful for. With Miss Minucci leaving her place as an art teacher after this year, there's absolutely no doubt that we will all miss her next year. But it comes as a huge relief that she's remaining as the AP art history teacher, as I'm fairly confident that there's no one better suited for the position. On behalf of the class of 2020, thank you, Miss Minucci, for everything you've done for us. You are the teacher we will all still be thinking about 10 years from now.
Good morning, faculty, staff, friends, family, and members of the PCD class of 2020. Today, we celebrate the ends of our careers as PCD students and move on to our next steps in life, whatever those may be. It feels like today is the conclusion of a great, long journey because, for us, it is. But today also marks the end of a PCD journey much greater and much longer than our own. Not only do we celebrate ourselves and our accomplishments, we also celebrate the remarkable career of Mrs. Carol Ann Tripp. For those of you who may not know, Mrs. Tripp is an esteemed physics teacher who first joined the PCD community in 1970 as a substitute and immediately began making an impact on the school, becoming the upper school's lone chemistry and physics teacher in 1978. But even before the start of her PCD journey, Mrs. Tripp distinguished herself as a brilliant young mind in the world of education and physics, earning her bachelor's degree from Bridgewater State College and her master's of arts and teaching from Harvard University. As impressive as these are as feats of their own, they are amplified by context, knowing that Mrs. Tripp became a pioneer in the world of physics at a time when the field was largely made up of men. Mrs. Tripp was and is a true inspiration, pushing the door open for the women in science of the future. Mrs. Tripp went on to become an incredibly influential educator, both on and off PCD's campus. She conveys concepts and principles in revolutionary and effective ways and has earned both local and national recognition for her excellence. She was instrumental in the advancement and promotion of both the introductory physical science and physical science study curricula, better known to our students as IPS and PSSC. Mrs. Tripp also acted as an early advocate for Physics First, a dramatic but necessary rearrangement of high school science courses that made the PCD program a strong example for other schools to follow. Mrs. Tripp is the ideal embodiment of a PCD teacher, but just as importantly, she's the ideal embodiment of a PCD community member and a PCD friend. In preparing for today, I had the privilege of speaking with a colleague and friend of Mrs. Tripp's, Mrs. Nancy Gilardi, and she summarized Mrs. Tripp's passion best. She brings unwavering enthusiasm into the classroom and loves watching her students discover. Whether demonstrating concepts in room 28 or demonstrating caring with a greeting in the hallway, Mrs. Tripp touches the lives of every student she meets. That extends to the faculty as well, as Mrs. Tripp is truly a mentor, partner, and friend to all of her colleagues. So, Mrs. Tripp, on behalf of the class of 2020, the entire student body, and all of the alumni whose lives you have touched during your time at PCD, I thank you for your service and your friendship to the school. We wish you the very best going forward.
Thank you, Sophie, for those very kind and thoughtful remarks. Good morning, seniors, parents, families, and friends of the class of 2020. Seniors, first, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this morning. I must admit that when Mr. Folan told me that you had asked me to be a commencement speaker, my first reaction was not one of gratitude. I felt a little like the man on the bridge in Edvard Munch's painting, The Scream. You know it. To be honest, I'm a very reluctant public speaker. Some might even say a panic-stricken public speaker. However, I realized I couldn't turn down your invitation. After all, I'm a loyal PCD Knight, and therefore I must accept the challenge and give the speech. For the past 88 days, all of us in the PCD community have had to face and accept many challenges, and that was especially true for all of you. Looking back to the fall of 2019, I am sure each of you had a sense of how the spring of 2020 would unfold for you. Spring sports, the musical, senior projects, senior dinner, graduation, and maybe the prom. None of us thought it would include a commencement ceremony with our graduating seniors and their families sitting in cars and everyone wearing masks. But here we are. If I had to choose a graduating class that would be up for a challenge like this, it would be this class. I have known some of you since you arrived at PCD as 6th graders. Perhaps you remember the time we went to Miss O'Donnell's house for a pancake breakfast during an advisory that year. Somebody remembers, probably Miss O'Donnell. This year, I had the opportunity to get to know 24 of you very well in my art history class. In class, I often told you that you were one of my best art history classes ever. Were you the smartest art history class? Maybe not. Were you the quietest art history class? Absolutely not. But you were the class who knew what your job was, and you did it until the very end of this extraordinary year. You are a group of individuals who each, in their own way, contributed to a greater good in my class and in this community. Last year, when we were all faced with a very sad and upsetting incident at school, it was the quiet leadership from the individuals in this class that helped to bring us to a place where the community could begin to heal. It was during that time that I realized this was a special class. We were all proud of you then, and we are extremely proud of you now, as you work to make the best of this new reality and look ahead to the future. Even though the world has changed in ways none of you could have imagined, the things that matter most in life have not changed. Most importantly, your parents love you, and they want the best for you. More than anything else, they want you to be happy and for you to find your place in the world. Now, it is your task to figure out how to do that. One way for you to begin is to try to become the best person you can be. If you are your best self, then you will be better at whatever it is you decide to do with your life. The person you are will be the foundation which will support everything you become. Learning to be your best self is a lifelong pursuit. In time, you will learn that it is the people in your life and your relationships with them that are most important. Over the years, I have known many inspiring people, family, friends, colleagues, and students. From a young age, I was often lucky to find myself in communities where people were very interested in helping others. It was with those individuals in mind that I created this list of the 10 ways to become your best self. Be empathetic. It leads to compassion. Be open to different points of view. It will enrich your thinking. Be respectful. There really is no alternative. Be generous. You have much to share. Be a listener. This is how you learn the most. Be safe, but don't be afraid. Be kind. It's just easier. Be thoughtful. Try to think before you speak. Be trustworthy. It is the only way to be trusted. And finally, be grateful, because there is always much to be thankful for. If you try to practice some of these ways of being as you travel along your chosen path, I believe you will find yourself surrounded by people who feel as you do. For the seniors in particular, this is a time for looking ahead, but it is also a time for looking back and reflecting on the individual journeys that brought you here today. Maybe because I'm an artist, when I look back over my life, I sometimes see the past as a large tapestry woven with a variety of threads, which represent the people, events, and experiences from my past. Every individual thread is important and contributes to the strength of the whole. We all have a tapestry of our lives that transitions seamlessly as more life experiences are added. Our past is a securely woven whole, but our future will be created from threads we have yet to find. Like life, our tapestry is a work in progress. Today, each of you in the class of 2020 will begin a new section in your tapestry. Soon, you will be adding new people, new relationships, and new experiences to your narratives. But please remember that your Country Day experience will forever be tightly woven into your tapestry. It will always be a reminder of the time you spent together with your classmates, safe within these sheltering walls. We have all learned a lot over the past 3 months. The pandemic has revealed many things about ourselves, our country, and our world. As we look ahead, we can agree that there will be daunting challenges to face, serious problems to solve, and countless opportunities to contribute to the greater good. It is clear to all of us here today that the future will need the very best people working together to make a difference. I believe you will be those very best people. Thank you.
Good morning to each and every member of the PCD community. I'd like to start by thanking Devin for that wonderful introduction. I'm very pleased and honored to be invited to be your graduation day speaker. When you asked me to speak, my first reaction was humbling surprise. My second was pure panic. As my somewhat precocious 7-year-old grandniece Violet would be quick to remind me, okay, Aunt Carol Ann, now it's your turn to give the message. But what will that message be? Will it be interesting to the mind of a graduating senior? What words would your senior ears want to hear? What words will my senior mind choose to say? Will they be appropriate, meaningful on this unique commencement day? While today's circumstances might be unusual, our purpose in coming together today is one of time-honored familiarity, to have a right and proper ceremony to reflect on the past, celebrate the present, and set forth toward the future. Chances are, whatever words I do choose to help guide your next steps will not be a perfect fit for your or even my own future plans. Who knows what opportunities we will consider, what chances we will take. 200 years ago, Louis Pasteur considered the role of chance in science. He concluded that chance favors the prepared mind. Wise words indeed. Their scientific guidance remains relevant to today's research. Their educational value is a source of support for tomorrow's lessons. So, in taking my turn to give the message, I've chosen it to be more of a conversation than a charge. I don't presume to know any one new set of essential skills and attitudes you will need for your next step. What I would like to do instead is encourage you to remember the old ones you already have. Remembering them is important because those memories mean the most to each one of us since they're ours, personally, uniquely, and individually. I would like today to be an opportunity for us to have this conversation in the hope that our own reflections will be reminded that we are prepared to take all those new and different chances that will be offered us in our futures. Louis Pasteur found confidence in his prepared mind, and I trust that you will in yours. Let us begin our conversation today by going back, way back, and be reminded of some of the first things that you might have learned. The author, Robert Fulghum, believed that everything I really needed to know, I learned in kindergarten. I agree. The many lessons from that early experience have prepared you for today. One in particular was mastering your ABCs. However, these 3 letters just happen to be more than the beginning of the alphabet. I see them as the beginning of 3 words that stand for the one important lesson that has been a piece of your past, validates your present, and hold promises for your future. A, B, and C are the first 3 letters of 3 words in one very important life lesson. Always believe in community. To have learned to always believe in community, we had to know what it was and what it did. The first of these 2 questions can be answered with a definition, one perhaps not found on past vocab lists. As a physicist, I define community as everything that completely surrounds us, physically, the very environment we exist in, everything we connect to and are connected by. Take a moment right now. Observe your surroundings and recognize that you are completely immersed in a community of people, images, ideas, emotions, rules, sounds, and of course, forces. Now that we have a definition of what community is, let us continue our conversation by looking for an answer to the question of what it does. We need to find evidence to confirm how and support why we believe in community. Where to look for it? How to recognize it? Will the evidence be circumstantial, physical, obvious, or subtle? Will it be seen or perhaps felt? May I suggest we begin looking for it in the physics lab? Perhaps you might remember the biggest poster on the walls of room 28. It was right next to a smaller one of Albert Einstein with a few of his words. What was it that you learned in kindergarten that was all you really needed to know? Here is some of what the poster says. share everything. Play fair. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup. The roots go down, the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we are all like that. Follow the golden rule. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. And remember the first books that you read and the first word that you learned. Look. I ask you now to recall that each of these early lessons learned, whether it was practicing good behavior, following a rule, applying forces, or recognizing an image, involved someone or something else. You were never alone, an isolated participant, or without a partner in your environment with which you had to connect. To play fair, you needed a playmate. When sharing, you gave, but you needed a friend to receive. When holding hands, you needed someone else's to give back that feeling of comfort and support when you crossed the street. Without a printed image, you could not read the word look. If we think ahead from kindergarten to physics class, we might remember that any action in isolation is impossible. Physics tells us that all forces exist in pairs, are essentially connected to each other, not because it's a coincidence or even convenient, but because it's a law. Let me also remind you that in each of these early lessons, the connections you made with what was around you, your community, were dynamic ones. You never acted without experiencing a reaction in return. Think of the times when you bared your emotions while working through a difficult issue in advisory. I am sure you remember the feeling of comfort returned to you through the compassionate reaction of others. Think of the times when you risked all effects of standing front and center on the Corkery stage. Certainly you recall right now how you were affected by and felt immediately connected to the audience through its applause. When you made an effect, you were affected in return. Whether being surrounded by a community of ideas in English class, images in art class, or rules in calculus class, you, through your very participation, became part of a dynamic exchange of ideas, creativity, and understanding between you and what was around you. Your community and you were active and cooperative partners in the creation of a learning experience. The fundamental give and take nature of all of these interactions is essential, undeniable, and irrevocable. It is more than just a good idea for society in general. It is specifically a law in physics. I hope I've helped you remember some of the exchanges that you have already made with your community. Exchanges with ideas, images, feelings, or even forces. Let us be reminded once again that to make an exchange, we need a connection. Often these action-reaction connections carry the label of cause and effect. Experience has probably taught you that for every effect you anticipated, you first needed to find an appropriate cause to which it might be linked. Those links exist in our community, often in the form of actions taken and consequences received. What a critical role we and our environment, our community, play for each other. We each must acknowledge the presence of the other because there is a mutual need that one satisfies for the other. It needs us, and we need it. Back in kindergarten, remember that you never kept the seed, the cup, or the soil separate in isolation. Without the cup to hold the soil, you couldn't connect it to the seed. Without reaching out to touch the soil, the seed's roots could not receive the food and water it needed to grow. That seed held a message, but without promise, given what it needed from the soil around it, how could it promise that I will be a yellow flower? Certainly, each of us must start by taking our turn to deliver our own messages. But we need something outside us, a medium, to keep it going. I need the paper in front of me to give an image of the words that I'm reading. Those sounds need the air to propagate them to eventually be heard by you. And without this listening community to react to, review, and maybe carry my message forward, they will have no ripple effect. They will be as invisible as a wave without water. The ripples you made in physics were indeed self-propagating, but without you to provide that initial force of disturbance or the surrounding presence of the water to carry it forward, there was no wave to look at, to wonder about. We believe in our community because it is half of a shared dynamic, half of a give and take partnership of sustenance and nourishment and progress. It's time for us to bring our conversation to an end. I apologize for it being pretty one-sided because I did all the talking. Hopefully my words reminded you personally and individually of the many ways you have always come to believe in community. I hope you remember times when you pushed and were pushed back, or when you showed need but were reminded that you were still needed. Perhaps you remember seeking something only to realize that you were sought after in return. Each of these experiences offers evidence to confirm your belief in community. You and I are all looking forward to communities that are about to change. They will look different because of the very identity of the environment in which we will submerge. That will change. They might feel different because of the new freedoms they allow us, more time to think, to choose what to do. Perhaps we'll act with new reactants in the hope of enjoying a reaction of new products in return. We are certainly eager to engage in these new communities. At the same time, we're reluctant to leave the comfort and security of the old ones. Yet how and why we connect to them to be served and to serve is a familiar and well-learned life lesson. You have given and received, acted and reacted, learned your ABCs, and been reminded that they stood for more than just the first 3 letters of the alphabet. We're ready. Our minds, spirits, and skills have been prepared since kindergarten to be favored by chance and to strive for excellence. But as my daughter Kimberly has frequently reminded me, excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. I believe the right attitude, the one that will continue to hold true and clear and firm, is for all of us to always believe in community. So, as we take our next steps forward and move out into the world, let us be reminded once again to watch out for traffic, hold hands, perhaps in the near future with gloves on maybe, and stick together in the communities we have always believed in. I thank you for tuning into our commencement broadcast this morning. I want to wish you lucky chances, powerful connections, the strongest actions, and the most fulfilling reactions. These are my best wishes for your successful future. Thank you.
Thank you both for your inspiring words this morning. And on behalf of the faculty, staff, and I think many of our families and alumni, thank you for your years of dedicated, caring, committed service to PCD and to scores of students. You will be missed. Thank you. Okay, and now for the main event, the awarding of diplomas. Just some ground rules first, okay? We will ask the first 5 students and your immediate family to line up alphabetically on the sidewalk to my left. We ask that other family members remain within the vehicle. Pretty please. Outside the vehicle, everyone must keep their masks on. After you pick up your diploma, your parents will follow the blue arrows, and you may remove your mask and continue to the photographer's marks right there. Please hold your diploma while the photographer takes your picture, and I will read a brief description of you and your PCD career. When I have finished reading, please follow the yellow arrows in front of the Murray House and return back to your car. I now invite our first 5 alphabetical graduates and their families to join us on the sidewalk to my left. Nicholas Joseph Alianello. Parents, you're welcome to come into the parent circle area. Nick arrived at Country Day as a junior and has made the most of his 2 years on our campus. Nick's upbeat, positive outlook, devoted commitment to his faith, and his strong work ethic added greatly to the class of 2020, both in and out of the classroom. In addition to his academic success, Nick is also an accomplished athlete. He anchored the goal for our soccer team and center field for baseball in his junior year. Basketball, however, is his passion, and his strong two-way performance and leadership on the court this winter helped our team advance to the semifinals of the NEPSAC tournament. For his senior project, Nick had planned to intern with the Special Olympics, but instead researched the power of athletics for underrepresented populations. Nick received a scholarship for diverse educators and will be playing basketball at Regis College this fall. Congratulations. Margot Evangeline Bedford. Margot epitomizes our ethos of developing well-rounded students and participants. Whether speaking English or French, since she is bilingual after all, Margot is an artist, athlete, and leader. Following in her brother Nathan's footsteps, class of 2017, Margot matriculated at PCD in 9th grade after her graduation from FASRI and has continued her passion for French language and culture. Perhaps what you don't know about Margot is that since the 7th grade, she has made and sold bracelets to raise money for a Moroccan family. She has raised so much money that now the family has a refrigerator, electricity, and children can now pursue an education. She designed and made masks for Beacon Hospice for her senior project and will take her many gifts to study marine biology at the University of Rhode Island this fall. Congratulations. Ileana Jacqueline Euphemia Brito. First and foremost, Ileana is a very proud PCD lifer, joining our community in the footsteps of her sister Isabel, class of 2016, and brother Isaiah, class of 2019, but never in their shadows. A 4-year contributor to the soccer team, including captain her senior year, Ileana is perhaps most proud of her commitment to dance, which she has done for 15 years, garnering multiple awards, including 2 national titles. Her fondest memories during her PCD days go back to her 7th and 8th grade class trips as a middler. It is clear that she is an intrepid traveler as she hopes to explore the world with her closest friends. Ileana plans to devote her career to serving others as she looks to study nursing at the University of Rhode Island this fall. Congratulations, Ileana. Anthony Salvatore Bruno. Anthony's arrival at PCD in his freshman year reflected the tenaciousness he displayed during his entire 4 years at our school. Overcoming a catastrophic leg injury at the end of 8th grade, Anthony established himself academically with the qualities we have all come to recognize: his effort and self-advocacy, while rehabbing aggressively to return to competitive athletics in his sophomore year. A committed two-sport athlete in basketball and baseball, Anthony's defense, rebounding, and intensity were key factors in this winter's basketball season success. Fun fact about this budding entrepreneur: he obtained his Massachusetts real estate license while still in high school. Anthony was preceded at Country Day by his brother Raymond, class of 2018, and for his senior project, he interned at Heath Properties, a well-renowned real estate company. Anthony is joining his brother Ray at LaSalle University this fall. Congratulations, Anthony. Matthew P. Burke. Teddy Bear, Gentle Giant. Matt Burke often wears these labels proudly, but there are areas where he is fierce in his loyalty to his friends and his commitment to never let down a classmate, teammate, teacher, or coach who is counting on him. Outside of the classroom, Matt can be found on the baseball field, football field, or following his passion for high-end cars. He is a force for the positive, frequently taking an interest in people, and always the first to give a cheerful hello in the halls. A kind and generous soul, Matt has the ability to lift the mood of any room he enters. Matt spent his senior project learning about grant writing at the Waterfire Arts Center and will pursue a college degree at Rhode Island College this fall. Congratulations, Matthew. If I can ask some more of our senior families to make their way to the sidewalk to keep this flowing nicely. Sonia Evelyn Crucy. Recent recipient of the Norris Memorial Award, PCD lifer Sonia Crucy is now synonymous with leadership. Student Council co-president, lead admissions ambassador, Community Standards Committee, and perhaps most notably, stalwart advocate for our students of color group, Sonia helped design the ASNE conference we were supposed to host this April. True to form, a global pandemic did not stop her from hosting this conference. She used her ingenuity to help this organization quickly shift from an on-campus experience to a virtual one. She is bilingual, a fluent speaker of English and Spanish, a meticulous manager for the volleyball and basketball teams, and has proudly maintained a part-time job during her entire PCD upper school tenure. Sonia plans to study psychology at Elon University this September. Congratulations, Sonia. Wolfgang Viet Curl. Wolfgang is a quiet, confident, steady force on this campus. Wolfgang came to PCD from community prep in 9th grade and has taken full advantage of the wide curricular offerings at PCD. A talented, dedicated photographer, Wolfgang is at ease behind the camera lens. A varsity swimmer and volleyball manager, Wolfgang has mastered time management as he has also maintained a part-time job at Flatbread Pizza since his sophomore year. Committed to serving his community, Wolfgang volunteered with local farms to deliver flowers and had planned to spend his senior project at his alma mater before COVID-19 hit. His backup plan was taking a financial literacy course, and he plans to attend Drexel University this fall. Congratulations, Wolfgang. Dante Z. Darden. Everyone in this community knows Dante from his stellar performances on our stage. He has been a key member of the PCD Players from his freshman year performance as Eddie Arch in Loserville, his personal favorite, to his outstanding performance and hilarious performance in this year's Space Girl. I have not had a salad in 4 months without thinking of Dante. However, Dante's impact goes far beyond the theater. Though he initially presents as a taciturn, soft-spoken young man, anyone who has shared a classroom with Dante knows that he thinks deeply and listens carefully. In the last 4 years, Dante has grown from a young man with a keen critical eye for the world and the hypocrisies around him into a loyal friend and a fierce advocate for those with less power. For his senior project, Dante worked closely with classmate and close friend Devin Dembro to create a musical composition. Dante's father, Thomas, is a PCD alum from the class of 1996. Dante is off to Boston University this fall. Congratulations, Dante. Paige Caitlin Dowplays. Paige has experienced deep change during her 4-year tenure at PCD. At the start of her journey here, Paige was a shy, somewhat withdrawn young lady in search of her place in the community. Before us today, however, we see a confident young woman, an inspiring writer and thespian, standout tennis player, and someone who has found and played a key role in this community. Paige is committed to and devoted to her family. Paige is well known for her upbeat personality, a strong desire to excel in all aspects of school life, and a willingness to help, encourage, and to support her peers. Paige is the type of person who often puts others ahead of herself, seen most vividly in her devotion to service and volunteering, particularly through her church. She will take her talents to Washington College this fall. Congratulations, Paige. Joshua V. DiMacedo. Energy, intensity, zest for life. These are just a few of the words that come to mind when thinking of Josh. During his time at PCD, Josh has most cherished his sports experiences. An accomplished athlete on the soccer pitch, basketball court, and lacrosse field, Josh's best comes out in the heat of competition alongside his closest friends and brother, Jason, class of 2022. Josh's tenure at PCD has resulted in transformation, increased maturity, and a true desire to serve. For his senior project during this global pandemic, mind you, Josh lived with a local elderly couple and cared for their every need, cooking, cleaning, and shopping, to mention just a few. Most remarkable, however, was the fact that he fully quarantined with them to ensure their health and safety. Josh is excited to continue his education at Dean College this fall. Congratulations, Josh. Devin Lawrence Dembro, cum laude. Devin is one of those people that can just make things look really simple. An excellent student, talented baseball player, captain of the 3-time state championship mock trial team, guitarist, tutor, dancer extraordinaire, DJ, the list goes on, and all the while he remains modest and somewhat humble. When asked what he wanted me to say, his first response was that, "I love my homies." Devin is a friend to all, has a great sense of humor, and in his own words, loved this school with a fiery passion. Devin was a lead peer advisor and member of the Community Standards Committee. He wishes to express his deepest gratitude to his teachers who have changed his life these last 4 years. As you just heard, for his senior project, he teamed up with Dante to create an incredible music composition. He's headed to Beantown, where he will study engineering at Boston University this fall. Congratulations, Devin. Gregory Alexander Demetricus. Few who have ever encountered Gregory at Country Day have come away unimpressed by this genuinely positive and kind-hearted young man. Greg's earnestness and loyalty to his friends, and they to him, is matched by his commitment to scholastic excellence. With characteristic effort and curiosity, Greg, another PCD lifer, has compiled an enviable academic record with a schedule full of honors and AP courses. In the fall, Greg has been a key member of our championship cross-country team and a committed tennis player, has been an anchor of our boys team in the spring. Most recently, Greg was named the Junta Memorial Award winner in honor of his concern and interest in all members of our community. Greg's sister Caroline, class of 2023, will join him as a graduate in 3 years. Greg is headed to Temple University this fall. Congratulations, Greg. Melissa Dick, Associate Director of Development, will present the diploma to her daughter, Juliana Faye Dick. All in. Reflecting on Julie Dick's 4 years at PCD, she threw herself in the middle of this community. It is clear that Julie can do just about anything she puts her mind to. A talented musician, Julie is the number 3 ranked violinist in the state, having participated in the All-State Orchestra all 4 years. Julie also pioneered our volleyball team, helping to start the program her freshman year and subsequently leading the team to its first playoff berth this past fall. And just maybe years from now, you could see her on ESPN, as she also distinguished herself as the varsity baseball manager and dynamic announcer all 4 years. Additionally, Julie was a lead member of the Community Standards Committee. For her senior project, Julie designed and built 2 beautiful Adirondack chairs with her grandfather that now adorn our campus. Julie is headed to BU this fall. Congratulations, Julie. Leo James Farley. Leo, a PCD lifer, is steadfast, committed, and earnest, but his quiet nature is belied by a desire to perform and a deep and transformative talent when he is on stage. Whether he is playing saxophone in the jazz ensemble, taking the stand on PCD's championship mock trial team, or on stage with the PCD players, one can be forgiven for forgetting that Leo describes himself as an introvert. His performances were always memorable and inspired. Equally inspired is Leo's work in the classroom, where he has earned honors or high honors in almost every trimester of his illustrious upper school career. For his senior project, Leo created and directed a short film. Leo is excited to head to Brandeis University this fall, where he will pursue the humanities in the School of Arts and Sciences. Congratulations, Leo. Hannah Rose Finkelstein. Hannah transferred to PCD a few weeks after the start of her junior year. You'd never know it, though. Despite her late arrival to the school, she was never an outsider, diving straight into courses already well underway and making strong friendships with her new classmates. Hannah is a critical thinker who wants to know why. A nuanced observer attuned to perceiving injustice and inequity, both subtle and overt. And a brave, powerful voice who will call attention when change is needed or overdue. She is also creative and driven. Her senior project, a series of video interviews with strong women in her life, including several PCD alumna, was a powerful and fitting culmination of her time at PCD. Hannah is headed to University of Rhode Island next year. Congratulations, Hannah. Erken Gao, cum laude. Unfortunately, Richard could not join us today. Richard truly made the most of his time at PCD, which also happened to be his first American experience. Richard dabbled in nearly every facet of school life: music, the arts, athletics, photography, and so much more. An accomplished academic, Richard achieved high honors all 4 years through self-discipline and hard work. Perhaps what made the most lasting impression on him, however, involved service work. Richard helped design a social entrepreneurship program in a poor village in China, Ningxia, and raised a total of $2,000 to help families in need. He is a thoughtful, perceptive friend to all and will bring his many gifts to the University of California at San Diego this fall. Congratulations, Richard. Michael Richard Harris. Words that come to mind when I think of Michael are quiet leadership, humility, and hard work. Whether it is in the classroom or on the basketball court, Mike sets an example of how to carry yourself, and he puts in the time and effort to excel. Mike taking the court this past fall and playing for his team his face blackened and swollen from colliding with a teammate who will remain nameless the previous day, is about as perfect an encapsulation of Mike's character as I can think of. Mike is a young man who is deeply connected to his faith, his family, and who knows the importance of service to others. We are proud to call him a knight. For his senior project, Mike fine-tuned his entrepreneurship skills and is headed to LaSalle University this September. Congratulations, Michael. Amy Hicks, PCD trustee, will present the diploma to her son, Bennett Edward Hicks. Bennett, in many ways, exemplifies PCD's play-the-game spirit and has done so since his arrival in 7th grade. A committed and serious student who has excelled in our academic program while taking a demanding schedule of classes, Bennett also has had one of the most impressive athletic careers in recent memory, serving as captain for soccer, hockey, and baseball. An all-league defender turned striker in varsity soccer, Bennett has also been instrumental to the success of our co-op hockey team with his playmaking and determination in the corners. Baseball is his game, however, and Bennett has been a 5-year starter on the diamond. His sister Kylie will join him as a third-generation PCD graduate in 2022, as he was preceded at Country Day by his Uncle Sean and great-uncle Frank. Bennett is headed to Bryant University this fall, where he will be playing baseball. Congratulations, Bennett. Jaehao Kim Jin. Kim is determined to change the world one student at a time. Enrolling at PCD as a sophomore, Kim was diligent about his academics, but was unsure about his place in our community. Kim brilliantly started the ping pong club and subsequently organized a school-wide tournament. This proved to be a defining moment for him. Kim has a warm heart, strives to help others, and has an abiding sense of justice. The past 2 summers, Kim has served as an elementary school tutor, first in rural China and then in local Providence. Kim's focus and drive to teach, mentor, and mold the minds of our next generation of leaders bodes well for our collective future. Kim is headed to Boston University to continue to hone his craft of teaching. Congratulations, Kim. Odelia or Cabeza. Odelia is an advocate, a righteous voice deeply committed to justice, who seeks out and amplifies those who too often go unheard. During her time at PCD, she developed into a leader never afraid to stand up for what she believed in, even in the face of resistance from her peers. Looking back, she was always on the right side of the issues. Odelia is a committed member of the Jewish community, serving as the president of the Rhode Island region of the International BBYO. She works to organize Jewish youth across the country and the world. Odelia's commitment to service also led her to work with community service outlets such as Refugee Connect, Jewish Elderly Services at the JCC, and Buzzards Bay, Rhode Island. Her senior project combined her love of fashion and her commitment to women's equality. She plans to enroll at Temple University following a gap year in Israel. Congratulations, Odelia. Drew Kelton, PCD trustee, will present the diploma to his daughter, Olivia Ann Kelton. If being late is fashionable, then consider Olivia Kelton, PCD's Coco Chanel. Once she does get to campus, however, Olivia is pretty much unstoppable. She is not quiet and she does not hide. If you have attended an upper school play or musical, then you know who she is because she was in all of them. She is a talented actress and has the pipes of a diva. She played tennis all 4 years of high school and participated in Students in Action, the Students of Color Affinity Group, and the Community Standards Committee, among others. During her junior year, she founded Full Circle, mentoring Gordon School students with learning differences and modeling the success they could achieve in high school. Olivia, you've done so much for us. We wish we could have had you for just a few more minutes. Olivia is off to Assumption College this fall. Congratulations, Olivia. Emerson McClendon Kopsek. Emerson is someone you notice when you come to campus. She might be on roller skates. She might be dressed like someone from her favorite video game. If you meet her in a Zoom meeting, then you might see her playing with her best bird bud, Mary, a green cheek Connor. You might know her as an incredibly talented artist, or as the young woman who has decided to be a surgeon one day, or the student whose grades improved even as her courses got increasingly harder. Emerson's transcript shows someone who has challenged herself, succeeded, and learned much. She was, after all, just given the Woodruff Progress Award for her transformation during these 4 years. Most importantly, Emerson has learned to always be her true self, and the world is better for it. She is headed to Syracuse University this fall. Congratulations, Emerson. Hope Marie Later. Growing up in East Providence, oftentimes while riding in the car, Hope would look out the window at our campus, think and say, "That's where I want to go to high school." Hope is one determined young woman. She often sets goals for herself and works hard to accomplish them. At just 7 years old, Hope was diagnosed with melanoma. Overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges, Hope is indeed a survivor, all the while staying positive, working hard, and balancing her many passions, such as student council, lead peer advisor, and a vibrant tour guide lead ambassador. As a freshman, she started playing volleyball for the first time, and by senior year she became a captain and was named to the Rhode Island All-Division team 2 years in a row. In the fall, Hope will attend Dean College and play varsity volleyball for the Bulldogs. Congratulations, Hope. Songyan Kyle Liu, cum laude. Imagine earning high honors for every single trimester of your high school career and doing it in your second language. Kyle doesn't have to imagine it because he just did it. The idea of language barriers, cultural barriers, any barriers at all, is laughable to Kyle. He is intrepid, independent, and single-minded in his pursuit of his goals, and he tends to achieve them. Yes, all of them. At PCD, he has served as a lead ambassador, a community standards lead, and was captain of the chess team. He is a talented artist, a world traveler. He wears a suit like James Bond, like right now, and he'll take money off you at the billiards table. We can't wait to see what he sets his mind to at the University of California at Berkeley. Congratulations, Kyle. Stephen Marcella, class of 1987, trustee, will present the diploma to his son, James C. Marcella, cum laude. An incisive and meticulous thinker, James holds himself to a high standard inside and outside the classroom. James arrived at Country Day in 7th grade, and his time at PCD has been defined by outstanding accomplishments as a student, athlete, and future attorney. Soccer and baseball, mock trial, cum laude, APs and honors, lead member of our community standards. The list continues to go on. James was preceded at PCD by his father Stephen and older brother Matthew, class of 2017. He is also a fierce and loyal friend. For his senior project, James worked with the development team at Rhode Island Housing, where he assisted in financing affordable housing for local Rhode Islanders. He's headed to the city of brotherly love to attend the University of Pennsylvania. Congratulations, James. Zoe Ann Martin. Graduating from PCD 79 years after her great-grandfather, Herb Wiley, class of 1941, Zoe has made her mark since she entered in the 8th grade, my apologies. For anyone who knows Zoe, we know that she is most comfortable and at her best on stage. A PCD player all 5 years and captain during this most unusual senior year, Zoe helped choose the shows and played a critical role in shaping the performing arts program. Whether it's creating music, singing, an advocate for the Pride Alliance, or making videos with friends, Zoe is a creative soul who uses these many talents to connect with others. She is so very thankful for the many things that PCD has given her, such as self-confidence, a voice, and lifelong friendships. Zoe is headed south to the Savannah College of Art and Design come this fall. Congratulations, Zoe. Laura Noelle McCarty, cum laude. Whether she is playing bassoon in the All-State Orchestra, using her significant writing talents to compose an essay in AP English, or deftly and effortlessly scaling a rock wall, Laura brings commitment and dedication to all that she does. Laura joined PCD in the 10th grade and quickly made an impact both in and out of the classroom with her work ethic and intellect, both of which contributed towards her earning the Academic Excellence Award this year. Teachers praise Laura's humility and generosity in the classroom. She is the first to offer help to teachers and classmates alike. Laura is one of the founding members of the Pride Alliance and spent her senior project learning needlepoint in order to recreate some of her favorite works from AP Art History. She is off to St. Mary's College this fall. Congratulations, Laura. Sophie Claire Robinson. A 4-year veteran of the upper school, Sophie has been quietly yet strongly influential, and her maturity and wisdom have been guideposts for those around her. She is also a fine and accomplished student who has demonstrated an upward and unbending arc of academic and personal success. Sophie earned cum laude recognition on the National Latin exam and was a Silver Key recipient in the Scholastic Art Competition. This year she won the prize for excellence in art history. Sophie was also a stalwart defender on our successful girls varsity soccer team. A paragon of style in our community, for her senior project, Sophie combined her love of fashion and sustainability to create a small, upcycled fashion line. Sophie plans to study filmmaking at Emerson College this fall. Congratulations, Sophie. Jacob C. Rothschild. While many seniors spend their final year enjoying the fruits of their labor and gently slipping into varying degrees of senioritis, Jake spent 700 hours learning software development and even earned 3 academic credits. Jake enrolled as a freshman at Country Day and immersed himself in the multifaceted PCD approach, taking full advantage of the many academic, athletic, and arts offerings. When Jake isn't learning a new coding language, he is most likely skillfully scaling the face of a rock wall, where he is a talented climber at the Rock Spot Climbing Gym. Despite these diverse interests, Jake also channels his inner Ferris Bueller and heeds his own advice in enjoying the simple things in life and not getting overly stressed. For Jake's senior project, he brought 2 of his apps to market, which you can now purchase on iTunes. Jake is taking a gap year to consider his many options for the fall of 2021. Congratulations, Jacob. Michaela O'Donnell, Art Department faculty member, will present the diploma to her son, Finian Buckley Small. Finn is someone you want on your side. He will stand with you and stand up for you. He will hold you up, make you laugh, and thoughtfully and quietly listen and learn. Finn has been a groundbreaker at PCD, founding the Pride Alliance and moving our community further on the path towards equity and inclusion, and teachers commend him for his unique ability to respect and embrace multiple perspectives while moving conversations forward. Finn's senior project focused on researching and learning about homelessness in Rhode Island and taking a deeper look at the impact COVID-19 has had on that population. Finn is headed north to Bennington College this fall. Congratulations, Finn. Matthew Todd Smith. Matt, or more affectionately, Smitty, has enjoyed quite a ride during his 4 years at PCD. A talented and accomplished athlete, Matt was a 3-sport athlete, excelling in baseball, basketball, and even serving as team captain of our football team. Matt is tough. One of my earliest memories of Matt happened this fall at football practice. As he walked off the field, it was clear that his finger was very badly broken. He shook it off, and I believe he played that very weekend. While Matt loves the simple things in life, like spending time with family and friends on Prudence Island, Matt is also a curious student, exhibited most clearly in bioethics. For his senior project, Matt designed his own landscaping firm and is joining his brother Tyler, class of 2017, at Rhode Island College this fall. Congratulations, Matthew. David R. Sylvia III. The David Sylvia who came to PCD in 9th grade would not recognize the David Sylvia standing in front of you today. While he already came to us as a fierce competitor and talented athlete, over the last 4 years, David has shown tremendous growth as a student, an advocate, and a member of the greater community. Classes that touched on social justice began to capture his interest last year, and the more he listened and learned, the more he wanted to speak and contribute. David became more active in class discussions, always providing measured perspective, and participated in diversity conferences as an ally. For his senior project, David pursued an entrepreneurship track where he put together a business proposal for a monthly subscription service focused on grooming and hygiene products for high school and college-age males. David is headed for warmer weather at Nova Southeastern University this fall. Congratulations, David. Elliot Robert Trendell, cum laude. For anyone who has had the pleasure of knowing Elliot, you know that he can do it all and has fun while doing it. Despite his long list of accomplishments inside and outside the classroom, perhaps his proudest achievement is being a PCD lifer. Elliot has embraced and modeled our ethos of play the game and participation during his 7-year tenure. Student council president, mock trial captain and 3-time state champion, cross-country captain, and conference champion 2 times. He has done it all. What surprised me most, however, was that he accomplished all of this and still worked a part-time job at Dunkin' Donuts. He carved out time to volunteer with children at a family homeless shelter in Attleboro. Elliot will not be traveling too far this fall as he embarks upon his higher education at Brown University. Congratulations, Elliot. Ziyun Carol Wong. Though she does not seek the spotlight, Carol is no spectator. Carol spent her 4 years at PCD fully immersed in all aspects of PCD life. She's exhibited these 4 years that enviable combination of incredible talent and a passionate work ethic in all that she does. And naturally, she does it with a wry sense of humor that elicits laughter from all who are fortunate to be in her company. A talented artist, Carol distinguished herself in drawing and pushed herself to master watercolor. Perhaps what some do not know about Carol is just how committed and accomplished she is in the world of equestrian competition. She is an accomplished show jumper and has competed around the world. Carol will bring her many gifts to Case Western Reserve University this fall. Congratulations, Carol. Charles E. Yancho. Knock him down and Charles will get back up. Plagued by knee injuries in his youth, he sat out of athletics in 9th grade to surgically repair these bothersome joints. This resilience and his ability to fight through adversity shaped his high school experience. A 2-sport athlete, Charles was a significant contributor on the basketball and baseball teams. Charles got so much and consequently gave back so much to Pawtucket Boys and Girls Camp's Ramsbottom Summer Camp, first as a camper, then CIT, and now a counselor. An excellent photographer, Charles has the ability to capture through the lens what most of us will miss. He has accumulated a staggering 500 hours of community service. For his senior project, he assisted the community counseling of Bristol County to implement COVID-19 reopening procedures. Charles will pursue a business degree at Johnson & Wales come September. Congratulations, Charles. Liuan Cygnus Zhang, cum laude. An extraordinary scholar, award-winning mathematician, an amazing artist, and a kind, compassionate member of our community, Cygnus has left an indelible mark on the PCD family. Over these past 3 years, we have watched her blossom into an amazing young woman who is ready to tackle any challenge that comes her way. Cygnus is another student who has made the international experience seem so seamless despite its many challenges. In addition to her outstanding grades, Cygnus yearns to be challenged and pushed outside her comfort zone. She is quiet but confident, determined yet humble, intrepid but still lends a helping hand to peers. Cygnus is a versatile, adventuresome, and aesthetic thinker. Cygnus will bring her grace and brilliance to the University of Michigan this fall. Congratulations, Cygnus. I now ask Charles Yancho to ring the victory bell. And let's get... Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Miss Lindsay Sosin, PCD Choir Director, to the stage to lead us in the singing of the Alma Mater, and I invite you to join her.
So you should all have words in your program, and I hope you'll join me in singing this morning into the class of 2020. This will be your last time singing the Alma Mater as current students, so let's make it count. We will now enjoy a song by the PCD Choir, You Will Be Found, featuring solos by Adam Mamdani, Ella Lafreniere, and Haley Salguero. Enjoy.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
So let that lonely feeling wash away, 'cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand.
And oh, someone will come running, and I know he'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and
and you rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
You will be found.
Someone will come running. To take you home. Someone will come running to take you home. Take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So when the sun comes streaming in, just gonna reach up and rise again. If you wanna look around, you will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking, and all is new. All is new. It's filling up the empty. Suddenly I see that all is new. All is new. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need someone to carry you, when you're broken on the ground,
so the sun comes streaming in, just to reach up and you rise again. If you wanna look around, you will be found. Even when the dark comes crashing through, you will be found. It's someone to carry you. You will be found. You will be
Graduates, your charge, through the words of those at our school who in many ways know you best, your advisors. Mr. Shamgosian, always remember the way in which you became a more unified and mutually supportive group, and the way in which the leadership role you took on last year prepared you for the challenges we all face together this year. Mr. Walsworth, speak out when you see injustice. Stand for what is right rather than what is easy. Continue to grow as the confident leaders we've seen you become. Mr. Dodd, check your privilege. Always listen first. When you think you've listened long enough, take a breath and listen some more. Commit yourself to improving the space around you. You are inheriting a world that is facing many incredible challenges. It looks like it's going to be up to you to fix it, and you will. Mrs. Aiken, over the last 4 years, each of you faced something you had to endure. A person who was causing you pain or frustration, a difficult test or class at PCD, an injustice you witnessed or felt personally, or even a struggle within yourself. You had to make a choice to get out of bed in the morning, confront whatever it was, and simply endure. Take a moment and recognize that choice, that power, that resilience, both in yourselves and in each other. You are strong. You will have that thing again in the future. You will once again have to endure. Remember that you survived the first time, and even more than that, you learned something valuable from the experience. When it happens again, also remember those who helped you get through, the people in the car with you today and in the cars around you. Lean on those people, lean on us, and take care of each other. Mrs. Gilardi, you are a class of scholars, actors, athletes, musicians, poets, and authors. You are one and all amazing. Be courageous, be wise, be adventurous, and above all, be happy. Take care, be well, stay connected to each other in your school, and to be biblical for a moment, always remember David's charge to Solomon, especially in these times and in those ahead, to be strong and of good courage. Congratulations, all.